Good evening and welcome to historic Modoc Field here at Klamath Union High School as the Henley Hornets, undefeated and top-ranked, travel to face the Pelicans. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik, and it is a perfect night for football. Temperatures in the 70s, set to only get down into the 60s by the time this game is over. Far cry from last week when we were dealing with that cold wind and rain.
Yeah, I'm still not dry. Almost. Yeah, these are the home games we like. Nice and close right here in town. Henley's got a favorable schedule, and we're just across town here at Modoc Field.
Pre-game show on the other side of this break. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So let's start here.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends. Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been away forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Welcome back to Modoc Field. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik as we get ready for Henley versus Klamath Union. Let's take a look at how these teams fared last week. Klamath Union, they were scheduled to host North Bend, but they had to forfeit due to a lack of players. Their last game was a 42-20 loss at Marshfield 2 weeks ago. Henley, they hosted Hidden Valley, and as we alluded to at the top of the show, some of the worst weather conditions you can imagine. It was cold, windy, and rainy. But the Hornets really didn't miss a step. They won 35-0. It was 35-0 at halftime. They outgained the Mustangs 381-95. Logan Whitlock had another outstanding night. He ran for 267 yards and 4 touchdowns on 22 carries. Joe Janney had the other rushing touchdown. He finished with 54 yards on 8 rushing attempts.
Yeah, that was a good game for the Hornets last week. You know, in a perfect situation, you want to be able to put your team in a place where they can learn every week. And last week we had the adversity of the bad weather. If you remember that early drive, they drove it clear down to the one, and they turned the ball over. And then from that point, they adjusted to the weather, and they played very, very well the rest of the game. So a good game last week for Henley. The score was lopsided, but still a chance for the team to learn, get a little bit better each week.
We'll take another break. Hear from Henley head coach Alex Stork on the other side. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities. The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges.
Not corporate. I'm full Subaru. We built our business on that simple promise. Well, that and some of the best people you're ever going to meet. Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General Manager at Klamath Subaru. Our 62 employees make it easy for us to live up to our comfortable, not corporate philosophy. Friendly faces, easy answers, straight talk, fairness, and exceptional service. These are the things you expect. These are the things that all of our people deliver. Our management team, sales pros, certified service and body shop techs.
During COVID, I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost motivation in eating healthy. And for me, if I'm not active, I just don't eat well. But then I started taking a class at Harbor's gym called High Low. The first week I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't do it, but the instructor was so kind and thanked me for coming and told me how well I did. I was like, no, I wasn't, but it made me come back the next week and the next week. And soon enough, I was keeping up with the class. I started introducing more classes and then going Saturdays. I learned how to lift weights accurately with repetition. I started lifting on my own. I started golfing too.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses. All
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
Welcome back to Modoc Field. We are just minutes away from Henley and Klamath Union. Had a chance to catch up with Henley head coach Alex Stork. Let's hear what he had to say about tonight. All right, you heard Coach Stork talk about big X factor tonight. You got to win on the perimeter. We know Klamath Union has had some success throwing the ball to the outside, Kevin.
Yeah, that's the number one thing I have marked down here is the speed. I think that the speed factor is going to be important tonight, and of course that involves the perimeter. If you can get out, you can get Whitlock or Janney outside. It could be a foot race, and we'll see how KU handles that.
We'll take another break. Kickoff on the other side. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So let's start here.
During the Les Schwab Founders Celebration Sale, save up to $150 instantly on select sets of 4 tires. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Be great.
Participate!
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost motivation in eating healthy. And for me, if I'm not active, I just don't eat well. But then I started taking a class at Harbor's gym called High Low. The first week I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't do it. But the instructor was so kind and thanked me for coming and told me how well I did. I was like, no, I wasn't, but it made me come back the next week and the next week. And soon enough, I was keeping up with the class. I started introducing more classes and then going Saturdays. I learned how to lift weights accurately with repetition. I started lifting on my own. I started golfing too with my husband. And all of a sudden, I was buying salads instead of sandwiches. Small victories happened week by week, and it's 100% because of Harbor, their staff, their gym, the golf. My husband is getting out of the house and working out with me. His golf game is increasing, we're lifting together, and we feel good. Harbor, where I lost my reins and got my gains.
Henley won the toss and deferred, so we will see the Klamath Union offense first. Jaime Pisano getting set to kick off for the Hornets on this beautiful Friday night here at historic Modoc Field. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik, and we are underway as the kickoff comes down just out of the end zone. It's scooped up and returned. Looks like Jet Johnson's going to try to make something of this, and he's got some room. Jet Johnson up to the 25. And a nice return to start the drive for the Pelicans.
Lane Frank making the tackle there for the Hornets. And Henley feels comfortable putting that defense out there. Their defense has played just as well as the offense this season, giving up very few points. So we'll see the Hornets defense as we start the game off. That was a nice kick. The ball kind of bounced up right at the 1. I think everybody was expecting it to go into the end zone for a touchback, and it forced a run back, although it was a good run back as he brought it back to the 25. And that's where the Pelicans will start.
Led by quarterback Lamar Queller. thrown for 829 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions this season through 4 games. And they come out. We're in a power run formation here. Everybody on the line. And that mass of bodies only gains a few yards.
That was a bunch formation. They had all 11 players about as tight as you could get right there. And they're averaging about 35 pass attempts a game, which is a lot. So maybe they're trying to try a little something different here. Go to a run formation. They picked up 3 or 4. And Jason Kern made the tackle for Henley.
Call it 2nd and 7. Ball on the 28. Same formation. This time it results in a pretty good gain up the middle, and they might have the first down. Sounds like Levi Hicks on the carry there.
It's a nice piece of strategy. Come out with something a little different. Run the football twice up the middle, see if their line can power. Move the Henley defensive line a little bit.
Gets the Pelicans up to their own 36 with a fresh set of downs. Again, same formation. This time the run gets next to nowhere. Looks like that was Calvin Hayes on the carry.
KU sticking with a double wing formation right there. We'll see how long they decide to stay with it. Henley figured it out that time a little bit better. Almost no gain.
So it brings up 2nd and 9 for the Pelicans. Ball on the 37. Same formation. This time it's a pitch. And tackled for a loss is Levi Hicks.
Good penetration from that Henley right side of the defense there. And once again, no gain. That brings up a 3rd and long. And what looks to be a passing down here. We'll see if the Pelicans throw the football.
Inside 10 minutes to go in the first quarter. Still scoreless here at Klamath Union. And the Pelicans have a 3rd and 9 from their own 36. Same formation. Handoff gets nowhere. That man is gang tackled.
They tried some misdirection there, and Kyle Nichols was all over that play. And that was a big loss.
That was Calvin Hayes on the carry. He's sent back to the 34. So on 4th and 12, the Pelicans will have to punt.
It's a good opening series defense for Henley. They get a stop.
Looks like Malcolm Lassett-Hankins is going to punt from standing on about his own 20 with Luke Bennett at the Hornets 30 waiting to return. And we've got a flag before the snap. Let's see what the call is here. Seems like some kind of illegal procedure. 12 men on the field, actually. That's odd to see them call that before the ball was snapped.
Right.
Moves them back 5 yards. So now Lassett-Hankins will punt from his own 15. Bennett at his own 35. He gets a good leg on that one. And Bennett makes a man miss. Gets up to his 40. He's got some room headed toward the sideline. And he's up past his own 45.
Nice job by Luke Bennett. Makes kind of a nifty catch. Evades one tackler and works his way toward midfield. And then we'll start 1st and 10. And we'll see if the Hornets here come out and establish the run. If you're KU, you have to try to do what everyone else has tried to do. How do you stop, or at least try to contain, this Henley running game?
Henley running game that put up 353 yards last week. They will start from their own 46. Trips right, one to the left for Joe Janney. Logan Whitlock on his left hip. Play action, wide open is Luke Bennett, and he's still going all the way down to the Klamath Union 35.
And Henley with some creative play calling right off the bat. I think everybody was expecting a handoff to Whitlock. And Bennett just ran a nice little route through the middle. He was wide open. Big game.
First and 10, Hornets on the 35 of Klamath Union. Their opening drive scoreless, 8:15 to go. Janney back to throw. Janney with time, airs it out downfield, and it's broken up. A nice play by Octavio Ortega.
That was some good defense. That ball was pretty well thrown, but Ortega timed it just right and knocked the ball away at the last moment. That'll bring up a second down and 10.
Octavio Ortega, we don't have a height listed for him, but it seems like Luke Bennett at 6'3" has at least a few inches on him. Nice play there. Brings up second and 10 for the Hornets. They give it to Whitlock. Whitlock with plenty of room up the middle. Whitlock outrunning everybody. Touchdown, Henley. That was like a light walk in the park for number 4.
That hole was huge, and Henley had thrown the ball a couple of times, so he's kind of keeping the defense honest for KU. Coach Paschke making some good play calls, and boy, they were not expecting that. Big, wide gap in the middle. Logan took advantage, gets the touchdown.
I think Whitlock could have driven his car through that opening.
It was a big hole. Well done by that line.
Or truck. I don't know what he has, but whatever his vehicle of choice is, they're going to go for 2 here, it looks like. Breaking to the left, and they've got it. Whitlock again out of the Wildcat formation. And it's 8-0 Henley, 7:59 to go in the first quarter. We'll be right back. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Welcome back to Modoc Field. A 35-yard touchdown run from Logan Whitlock, followed by a 2-point conversion by Whitlock on the Wildcat keeper. Makes it 8-0 Henley, 7:59 to go in the first quarter. And Jaime Pisano's kickoff, he tried to kick it short. It took a couple bounces and went out at the 10. So Klamath Union will get it. They haven't marked the penalty yardage off yet, but I believe that would move it up to the 35.
I think you're right. Start to 20 and add 15. Is that where that works? They're still thinking about it.
I think Pisano was trying to prevent another big return like the one Jet Johnson got from the goal line on the opening drive for Klamath Union. Didn't quite work out, but
Hornets lead this one 8-0. On that 2-point conversion, Luke Bennett threw a nice block. I didn't get a chance to mention that earlier. Really good block on the outside that sprung Logan for those 2 points. Those always come in handy, those conversions.
So Klamath Union will start on their own 35, trailing 8-0 with 7:59 to go in the first quarter. And again, it looks like they're coming out in this bunch formation, going for the power run. The handoff goes to Malcolm Lassett-Hankins. And he picks up about 6.
They had some success with this on the first drive, and then they got into a 3rd and long, and they kind of fizzled out, and their drive stopped suddenly. Then they had a quick penalty also. So if they can string together some first downs, see if they can score.
2nd and 4 on their own 42. Same formation. Now Queller's going to drop back and throw. He's looking over the middle, and wide open is Jeff Spooner. He's tackled down at the 30. That is a great play call by Klamath Union.
Yeah, we haven't seen that hard at all this year. He got behind the defense, and Henley defense has been pretty good about keeping the receivers in front. And that time he snuck past, and they got a big gain on that pass.
Jeff Spooner, the top receiver for the Pelicans, came into this game with 24 receptions for 272 yards and 4 touchdowns on the season. Now he's got his team in good position as a fumble recovered by the Pelicans. Back at the 31, that was Jamar Queller diving on it.
Cohen Redmond, he was there in a hurry, and he caused the fumble. Good play by Cohen.
That'll be a big loss for Klamath Union on that play. About 4 or 5. Sends them back to the Henley 32. 2nd and 12, they'll call it. Yardage marker looks like it's a little more than 12, but they were on the same play, and thrown down in the backfield is Levi Hicks.
That was
but
Cohen.
he didn't have the ball. It was Lamar Queller on the keeper.
Yeah, Cohen Redmond found the ball, and he also made a pretty heavy hit there to stop the ball carrier. So 2 excellent defensive plays in a row from Cohen and the Henley defense.
Using a lot of misdirection with the bunch formation here. Third down and a lot for KU. Queller back to throw, looking over the middle again, and this time it's intercepted. Returned past the 30. Luke Bennett still going past the 40 and tackled at the 45. Luke Bennett gets his 3rd interception of the season and snuffs out the Klamath Union threat.
Henley had that well covered that time, and the ball was thrown with just enough air underneath it that Luke had time to get his sights on that and catch the ball at its highest point. Well done.
So the Hornets come back out starting at their own 45 with 5:40 to go in the first quarter and an 8-0 lead. They come out trips right. And Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. Whitlock gets the handoff, breaks the tackle, and it takes 3 men to wrestle him down just past the 50.
Good push that time, good drive from Logan. He picks up 6 on first down.
Whitlock again, he rushed for 267 yards and 4 touchdowns on 22 carries against Hidden Valley last week. That's a little more than 12 yards per carry.
The Henley run game is working on all cylinders this year.
2nd and 4 on the Klamath Union 49, trips right. Whitlock gets the handoff again. Whitlock with plenty of room on the right side, down past the 40, 35, 30, still going, weaving his way in and out of defenders, and they finally bring him down at the 20.
The Henley offensive line is showing their strength right there. That was a strange play. Logan wasn't even touched until he was probably 10 or 15 yards downfield that time. So he had a lot of room, didn't have any interference, and was able to make his way just inside the 20.
4:40 to go in the first, an 8-0 lead for Henley. They've got 1st and 10 now at the Klamath Union 20. Trips left. Whitlock on the left hip of Janney. Janney rolls left, looking to throw. Zips one over the head of Chris Janney and out of bounds.
There's a lot of traffic over there. He had actually 2 receivers on this near sideline, and there were 4 KU defenders. So probably a wise decision to just let that ball sail out of bounds and try it again on 2nd down.
Makes it 2nd and 10 for the Hornets. And we've got a timeout called. Or no, they just said stop the clock. I think that somebody forgot to stop the clock.
They're just trying to adjust the clock there.
Ref asking for 4:10 on the clock. It currently says 3:52. Now they've got it fixed, so we're ready to get back underway.
Henley doing a nice job offensively. You don't know where they're going. They're mixing up the run and the pass pretty equally here so far.
Trips left, now one to the right. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. Whitlock gets the handoff, goes up the middle. He's got plenty of room again. Whitlock juking out defenders, gets down to the 10, and that should move the chains.
Yeah, some nice side-to-side running there. You kind of take that for granted, that he does. Sometimes he'll run side-to-side, sometimes he'll just go north-south, and that you have to have kind of a special sense of where the defenders are to know when to do that, and he's very good at that.
1st and goal for the Hornets. Now they're saying run the clock. Trips left. Whitlock on the left hip of Janney. Whitlock gets the handoff. Another big hole, and Logan Whitlock he fumbles. Bunch of guys diving for it. I think it's either going to be a touchdown or a touchback.
Yeah, that ball was fumbled right at the goal line. I think, Henley recovered it, but it was just outside the goal line. A fortunate break for the Hornets.
Yeah.
So that will make it a 2nd down and goal from they're just a foot outside the goal line. That was a lucky break.
Very lucky.
Henley taking their time. They're kind of returning back to the pace that we're used to seeing. Using that play clock.
Wildcat formation, and Whitlock walks it in for the touchdown. That is easy money for the Hornets, and they go up 14-0, PAT pending.
Yeah, he wasn't touched again, and that's what KU's going to have to make some adjustments. They're just not getting enough penetration. They're not getting any hands on the running backs until they're 5 or 10 yards downfield. So I'm sure they'll see that and make some adjustments.
This time they're going to kick it. And it looks like
that Reyes in there
Julian
kicking.
Reyes is going to take the PAT. It's up and good. So that makes it 15-0 Henley with 2:55 to go in the first quarter. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. We'll be right back. You're watching Henley football on Mon.com and listening on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
During the Les Schwab Founders Celebration Sale, save up to $150 instantly on select sets of 4 tires. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Welcome back to Modoc Field. Logan Whitlock's 2nd rushing touchdown of the quarter gives Henley a 15-0 lead over Klamath Union with 2:55 to go here in the first quarter.
Everything's going Henley's way. Even when they make a little mistake, drop the football, they still end up with it. 2 scoring drives with 2 possessions. Defense playing well also.
And that drive started with a Luke Bennett interception that he returned right to about midfield. As Reyes will handle the kickoff. It's fumbled off the hands of Jet Johnson. He scoops it back up and runs with it. And tackled at the 15 by about 3 or 4 Henley players.
It's good swarming special teams play from Henley. And KU will have to start deep in their own territory, about the 16.
And you look at Klamath Union. They've had a hard time getting it going since their season opener against Etna out of California. They won that game 38-13. In their next 3 games, they've been outscored 92-27. Well, I guess 107-27 now. Empty backfield for Queller. Tries to run it himself. Flag comes in as he's forced out of bounds at the 20.
Chris Janney with a nice tackle there, and we'll sort out the penalty.
That's a hold on Klamath Union. So that'll wipe out the short gain on the scramble by Lamar Queller.
So KU that time went back to their more traditional offensive set. They tried that bunch, that tight formation early in the game. Now they trail by a couple touchdowns. They're probably going to start throwing the football.
Sends them back to their own 9. They come out, 2 receivers on either side. Queller back in the shotgun, looking to throw. Forced out of the pocket, gets up past the 10 and steps out of bounds at the 15.
That was good pursuit that time by Thomas Bakke. And Queller had to look downfield, didn't see what he wanted to see. Nobody open down there, so he tucked the ball quickly, decided to run. But just for what might have been even a loss of a yard maybe there.
And got a whistle here. I guess a late substitution looks like for Henley. As Klamath Union comes out. 2 receivers on, well,
you got a little
they're confused. They're getting the formation sorted out. Looks like they're going trips left, 1 to the right. And Levi Hicks on the right hip of Queller, who quickly throws and hits Jeff Spooner, who makes his way up to the 25.
That was a nice run. He ran that ball across the middle of the field, and he evaded 2 or 3 Hornets before Justin Elbert finally made the tackle.
So 3rd and 1 here for Klamath Union. See if they can extend this drive.
It's a big 3rd down here for KU. Could pick up this 3rd down, keep this drive going.
Looks like they're going, and no, they call a timeout. Klamath Union coaching staff not happy. Seems like the team may have gotten the wrong formation.
Yeah, they appeared to be going back to the double wing for this 3rd and short, but the coaches didn't like what they were seeing, so there'll be some discussion.
If you're just joining us, it is 15-0 Henley with 1:54 to go in the first quarter, thanks to 2 touchdowns from Logan Whitlock. Luke Bennett also has an interception. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. Henley looking to go 6-0 and 3-0 in league play. Hornets ranked number 1 in both the OSAA rankings and the coaches poll.
Henley coaches treating this game tonight just like any other game. You don't worry about the rankings when you have a crosstown rivalry. You Definitely prepare your team like you would any other time, and Henley looks ready so far in this first quarter.
So now the Pelicans come out, 2 receivers on either side. Queller back in the shotgun with a running back on his left hip. Handoff goes to Levi Hicks, and he's tripped up, but not before he gets the first down.
That was a nifty run because he started to fall down, and he would not have made the first down, but he put his hand down and propped himself up just enough to push himself forward and pick up the first down. Well done there.
So the Pelicans able to keep the drive going. Come out in the same formation. Ortega comes in motion. It's a jet sweep. And Ortega is wrestled down just behind the line of scrimmage on the left side.
I think Chris Janney was the first one over there. Nice work by the Hornets. Staying at home. No gain.
Second and 10. 1:07 to go. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Queller back to throw. Rolling right. Evades a sack. Queller still going up to the 40. And run out of bounds at about the 44. And a flag comes in. 2 flags come in. There might have been a late hit.
Yeah,
see what happens
here.
The
officials saw the same thing. That play was well over when those flags came in.
Looks like helmet to helmet called against Klamath Union.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate break for them. That was a nice run beyond the first down, but it'll be pushed back at this point.
So now the referees are chatting with Thomas Bakke, who apparently, I think, may have been the recipient of that hit. Oh, it's actually a dead ball blindside block. So that, I believe the referee just said that they'll count that as a 1-yard gain.
Let's see how they do this. It'll be first down and 10. They picked up the first down and they moved the ball back.
So Klamath Union on their own 29. 53.1 seconds to go in the first quarter. They trail Henley 15-0. Queller back to throw. Queller under pressure. Gets it off and off the hands of a receiver and incomplete. That was Jeff Spooner.
It was a pretty good throw from Queller. He had to sprint to his left and throw that ball back across the middle of the field. Chris Janney had good coverage. And that'll go as an incompletion, second down.
Now, Jeff Spooner, they don't have heights listed on Klamath Union's roster, but you look at him, I think I have to say he's probably at least 6'2", 6'3", similar measurements to Luke Bennett.
Yeah.
You can see why he is a favorite target for Lamar Queller. 2 receivers on either side now. Second and 10. Queller back to throw. Lets it fly. He finds Spooner at the 40, and that's where he's wrestled down. Moves the chains for Klamath Union, though.
Yeah, that'll be enough for a first down. And Spooner does a nice job when he runs his routes. He's a big target, so his quarterback knows right where to find him. And he's able to find those gaps between the secondary and the linebackers. And that time he had a nice little seam in the middle, made the completion.
Clock ticking, 35 seconds to go in the first quarter. Henley with a 15-0 lead. Klamath Union first and 10 at their own 40. 2 receivers on either side for Queller. As a designed run out to the left side, he is spun down, though, by Chris Janney before he can pick up more than a couple.
Chris Janney doing a nice job on the edges here in his first quarter. Another nice tackle from Chris. And he has to come a long way. He starts in that defensive backfield and makes his way up as he reads the play. So good piece of defense from Chris Janney.
And that will take us to the end of the first quarter. Henley 15, Klamath Union nothing. We'll take a break. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Be great.
Participate!
Welcome back. Henley with a 15-0 lead as we get ready to start the second quarter, thanks to 2 touchdown runs from Logan Whitlock. Klamath Union, though, with a 2nd and 8 from their own 42.
Yeah, KU's moving the ball a little bit on this drive. I talked to a couple of their coaches before the game down on the field, and it's tough to lose a game. They had a situation last week where they didn't get to play, and I have to say the kids were upbeat. I thought that the coaches had a positive attitude. Then I think they definitely came ready to play, and they're still in this game. They trail 15-0, but we're early in the second quarter.
And they may have lost the game, but what that does give them is an extra week of rest. Chance to maybe get some guys back healthy.
Yep.
And a very fresh team out here to face the top-ranked team in 4A. Handoff to Levi Hicks. And he fights his way up close to the 45. Forced out on the Henley sideline.
That Henley defense very good at stringing out the runs, making them go side to side and not down the field.
They'll spot him at the 44, so it'll be 3rd and 6 for the Pelicans. Looks like they're going trips left, 1 receiver to the right. Queller back to throw. Queller looking over the middle, caught at the 40, and the tackle is made immediately. Lamar Queller throws a dart to Malcolm Lassett-Hankins, and Klamath Union is in Henley territory for the 2nd time tonight.
And that was a big 3rd down conversion. I know it's early in the game, but you don't want to get down by 3 or 4 touchdowns, and KU knows that. These 3rd downs are important. Nicely done. Good throw, good hard throw in the middle of the field, and a good reception.
Klamath Union setting up with 1st and 10 on the Henley 41. 11:27 to go in the second quarter. Pelicans trailing 15-0, and Queller is sacked. Back at midfield.
Cohen Redmond with the sack. When he comes through there, he's almost, I'm not sure what's happening at the line, but he's coming through unblocked. That's about the 3rd time we've seen that tonight. That's a huge loss.
Queller felt the pressure almost immediately and was unable to escape at that time.
Yeah, that was just immediate for sure.
Makes it 2nd and 17 for Klamath Union. 2 receivers on either side. Running back on the left hip of Queller. Drops back to throw. Zips one down to Spooner, who almost gets back to the original line of scrimmage before being wrestled down.
Gain of 5 yards to Jeff Spooner. 3rd down.
Trying to see if I think that was Ronan Wright over there. Good coverage. Allowed the receiver to make the catch, but tackled him almost immediately, and it'll bring up a 3rd and long.
Looks like a 3rd and 13 on the 44-yard line of Henley. Trips left, Queller back to throw, zips one over the middle again. It's tipped and intercepted. There he is again, Luke Bennett, and he's going to take it up past midfield. Back to the Klamath Union 45, and 2 flags come in after the play. Second interception of the night for Luke Bennett.
That's one of those situations where that ball, we've talked about this, that ball gets popped up in the air, and it's anybody's to get. Luke was the first one there.
Came in with 2 interceptions on the season.
After the intercept, face mask, number 8, 5 yards. Snap will be 1.
Looks like the face mask is the call against Klamath Union.
It's a nice takeaway from the Henley defense. That's how you want to stop a drive. Big play.
A great read there by Luke Bennett on the tip ball. He was in the right position.
Sure.
Showing you why he's got that Division III offer from Linfield. So Henley comes out, trips right on the Klamath Union 40, 1st and 10. Janney back to throw. Janney looking over the middle, threading the needle. Finds Chris Janney, and Janney takes it all the way. Janney to Janney for 6. And just like that, it's 21-0 Henley. Chris Janney turns on the Jets. And the other Linfield recruit on the roster, with a great ball from his little brother, takes it to the house.
That was a good pass. He had time to set his feet and just rifle that football. When he has time, he's a very good quarterback.
9:41 to go in the second quarter. And the PAT, it's a fake. Oh, juking a man, but not getting further than that is Julian Reyes. Taking over the kicking duties from Jaime Pisano. Well, it's still 21-0, so you have to figure Alex Stork probably said, what do we have to lose by trying a little fake there? 9:41 to go in the second quarter. Henley 21, Klamath Union nothing.
Henley making their own breaks, doing a nice job picking up fumbles, getting turnovers through interceptions, and then the offense playing very well. So they're out to a 21-point lead with 9:41 left to play here in the first half.
You know, you might think this is just nothing going right for Klamath Union, but I mean, take a look back at last year's matchup. Klamath Union trailed that one 28-0 after one quarter, 48-0 at halftime. Henley went on to win 54-7. So, you know, some bit of marginal improvement year to year there for the Pelicans, and that's one thing that their head coach Rob Clifford mentioned when I interviewed him in the preseason, as the kickoff is fielded at the 10. And a nice return here from Tilden Kaufman, who had a little space and made his way to the 35. But one thing Rob Clifford mentioned when I was interviewing him this preseason was, you know, he just wants to see the team be a bit more competitive in each game than they were last year. You know, he said,
sure,
you know, the goal was to win one more game than they did the year before. So this year that would be 3 games. But he said at the same time, you know, if they can be losing games, say 21-7 that were previously 42-0, then that is also improvement that he's looking for.
Sure.
Queller back to throw. 1st and 10. Rolling left, still looking, and finally sacked at the 28.
Cohen Redmond in there again on the tackle. He's having quite a game. I think that's his 3rd sack. And also a tackle for loss, if I have my stats correct here.
Our stats, of course, are unofficial here in the booth, but we do our best, right?
Sure.
2nd and 16 for Klamath Union from their own 28. They trail 21-0, 8:52 to go in the second quarter. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Lamar Queller, quick throw, wide open is Jet Johnson, and Johnson turns on the Jets past midfield, forced out at the Henley 45.
That was a nice route. Nobody picked him up. That was a very shallow. He was probably only about 1 yard downfield. Came across the field from the near side to the far side, and he got that pass right in stride. Made a big gain out of it.
It's Jet with 2 T's. But that just means twice the speed, apparently. 1st and 10, Klamath Union on the Henley 48. Trips left, 1 to the right. Queller to throw, under pressure, escapes up the middle, dragged down after a short gain. A good scramble there by Lamar Queller. He's struggled to get protection at times tonight. He's really doing everything he can out there.
Yeah, Henley's done a good job. The defensive backs, they've either covered the receivers or he's been getting pressure. So on both ends, he's having a tough game.
Trips left, 1 to the right. 2nd and 7 on the Henley 45. Queller back to throw. Pressure again. Again, Queller escapes up the middle, and this time he's got the first down and more. Lamar Queller forced out on the Henley sideline at the 35.
Yeah, that time he found room. He had a little trouble the last couple plays, but that was enough for a first down.
Lamar Queller's looked a little like Lamar Jackson on this drive with some of these scrambles.
Yeah, he's good at making decisions quickly. He has to. And he's not afraid to tuck it and run.
So down to the 35 with a fresh set of downs is Klamath Union, and the handoff is fumbled, and Henley's got it. And just like that, the Hornets just snuff out any momentum the Pelicans were building. And they've done that a couple times this game.
Thomas Bakke picked up the fumble there, and that they were trying to hand the ball off to Levi Hicks, and for some reason he didn't think he was the ball carrier on that play. He didn't even reach for it, so the ball just fell to the turf. And Thomas fell on the football, and Henley has the benefit of getting another turnover.
3rd forced turnover of the night by the Henley defense. And it looks like we might have an injury timeout. Well, the whistle blew again. Not sure. Okay, everybody's taking a knee, so looks like we might be here for a minute. We'll step aside. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Wait, all I do is wait. So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been away forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
50 moves the chains. We're sorry those of you on the video stream couldn't see that, as Whitlock surrounded by guys but just kept on trucking.
Yeah, that's one thing when you learn quickly playing against Logan is you have to play to the whistle because he will not stop, and he did that right there.
So Hornets with a fresh set of downs at midfield. Janney back to throw, quickly out to the right side for Bryson Montag. And he gets up to the Klamath Union 42 before he's forced out.
That was a nice route. Just a little 5 and out. Found himself open. Ball delivered right where it needed to be. 2nd and short.
$7:16 to go in the second quarter. Henley in Klamath Union territory with a 21-0 lead. 2nd and 2 on the 42. Janney, quick throw, wide open on the left side is his brother. Chris Janney jukes a man out, and he's going to house another one. The Janney brothers link up again, and again it goes for 6. Another fantastic run after the catch by Chris Janney.
Yeah, he found room on that far sideline. I think he looked like he may be forced out, but he was quick enough. And he made his way all the way down for a touchdown.
$27-0 Henley with 7:02 to go in the second quarter, and the PAT is up and good from Julian Reyes. 28-0 Hornets. We'll step aside. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're watching Henley football on mybasin.com and listening on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
The Pelicans player, they've got to hurry and get it. They fall on it right at the 21. So just barely avoid what would have been another disastrous turnover.
Yeah, that was a 50-50 ball once it broke away from the receiver there. And KU fortunate to fall on the football.
So Klamath Union will come out with 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Lamar Queller from his own 21, back to throw. Gets it out quickly, but is just off target for Jet Johnson. And Queller kind of tapping his chest after that, saying, that's on me.
Yep, he just led his receiver a little too far. He couldn't catch up with it. Incompletion brings up second down.
6:53 to go in the second quarter. Henley with a 28-0 lead as the Pelicans line up for 2nd and 10 from their own 21. They'll go trips right. 1 receiver out to the left. Queller back to throw. Under pressure and sacked. But a flag comes in. We'll see what this is about. Thomas Bakke standing Queller up, but we'll see if it holds.
Yeah, Bakke's a good tackler. And he's strong, so.
Penalties on Klamath Union.
Holding, number 77, 10-yard penalty, making second down.
So it was a holding on Klamath Union, and they will accept the penalty. So that'll send Klamath Union back to their own 11. Nope. They just said now the penalty's been declined.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was wondering about that because it was a huge loss. So Bakke will get credit for the sack.
Not sure if Alex Stork did the math or the referee jumped to conclusions on that one, but either way.
So it will bring up third down now.
From the 14, 2 receivers on either side. Queller back to throw, backpedaling, lets it go over the middle. It's caught, but leveled at the 15 is Jet Johnson. So Klamath Union is going to have to punt from deep in their own zone.
That was a middle screen, and Ronan Wright was all over it. Short gain, and the Pelicans will have to punt. We've called Ronan's name a few times tonight. He's doing a nice job out there.
So Malcolm Lassett-Hankins will punt with Luke Bennett posted up at his own 40. Lassett-Hankins from just outside his own goal line. 5:50 to go in the half. Clock running. Henley with a 28-0 lead. High snap, but they get the kickoff. It comes down really short. Dribbling up to midfield. And looks like it's down at the 48.
That ball took some crazy bounces.
Yeah.
And it almost hit one of the Henley players, and
Yeah.
I think KU was kind of hoping that would happen, but somehow it avoided the feet, and Henley will get possession here.
Yeah, a few bodies in there.
It was
hard to tell where that ball was going.
Yeah. But more ideal field position for Henley starting this drive in Pelican territory.
On the Klamath Union 48. They come out with one receiver to the left, three stacked on the right. Whitlock on the left hip of Janney. Play action. Janney rolls left, uncorks one downfield. Caught! Oh my! Down at the 5. Guess who? Chris Janney.
They saw a one-on-one. There was single coverage on the far side, and they decided to just let it fly. It was good play action. They faked the ball to Whitlock, and that was a bomb. That was a good old-fashioned bomb down inside the 10.
The brother-to-brother connection has paid massive dividends for Henley tonight.
I think they're going to spot the ball just right there at the 6.
That was one of the best catches I've seen all season. Wildcat formation. There goes Whitlock, still going, and he's got the touchdown. Powering through the line. Puts Henley up 34-0. Just clinical at this point for Henley.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Just that's what you want from your ball team. You want consistency and execution. And Henley showing all of that here in the first half.
PAT is up and good, so it's 35-0 Henley, 4:58 to go until halftime. We'll take a break. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Comfortable and not corporate. At Klamath Subaru, we built our business on that simple promise. Well, that and some of the best people you're ever going to meet. Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General Manager at Klamath Subaru. Our 62 employees make it easy for us to live up to our comfortable, not corporate philosophy. Friendly faces, easy answers, straight talk, fairness, and exceptional service. These are the things you expect. These are the things that all of our people deliver. Our management team, sales pros, certified service and body shop techs, lot attendants, and detail experts are all 100% focused on you, local people putting their friends and neighbors first. At Klamath Subaru, that's the only way we do business. It's comfortable, not corporate. Our team members also spend hundreds of hours each year supporting local charities and events through the Subaru Love Promise. That's the kind of people they are. We're very proud of them. They're your friends, they're your neighbors, they're glad to know you, and they want you to be glad to know them too. I'm Rob, and this is what makes us comfortable, not corporate.
Fumble on the kick return. It's recovered by Klamath Union.
think that was Matt Iverson on the scene, knocking the ball loose. But KU will get a chance here, try to put some points up before the half.
So this is the second straight game Henley has got up 35-0 by halftime. I don't believe the running clock will kick in until the second half. Is that correct, Kevin?
Yeah, that's right.
.448 to go in the half. Two receivers on either side. Queller, quick throw to Spooner. Spooner stiff arms a defender and falls forward to the 22. 21, they call it.
Chris Janney was right there. He had the coverage and made the quick tackle. Short gain. Chris having quite a game as well. On both sides of the football.
No doubt. Both of the Linfield targets on the roster have played excellent tonight. Queller back to throw over the middle into traffic, but Spooner still hauls it in.
There were 3 Hornets right there, and somehow he threaded that needle. Good completion for KU. They'll bring up third down.
3rd and 5 for Klamath Union on their own 25. There you go. Trips left. One receiver on the right side. Now looks like they're switching it up. Trips right. One to the left. 2 guys went out in motion. Handoff up the middle, and they've got the first down. It's Levi Hicks on the carry.
Yeah, that was effective. It did a lot of shifting around on the outside, but sent the ball right up the middle, and they picked up the first down on the ground. I think that was Nolan Sieben making the tackle for Henley.
So a fresh set of downs for Klamath Union up to their own 32. Clock approaching, 3 minutes to go in the half. Henley leads 35-0. Trips left, one to the right. Queller, quick throw to Spooner over the middle, and Spooner gets close to another first down.
Yeah, the Queller-Spooner connection, you can tell, works very well for KU. He's a good receiver. He knows how to get open. Good hands. And a good catch right in the middle of the field. 1st and 10 for KU.
One receiver on either side. Queller back to throw. Scrambling and sacked. Back at the 40-yard line, so that'll bring up 2nd and 12.
Baki, Redmond among the Hornets on that tackle, putting good pressure on that quarterback.
Two minutes to go. 2 receivers on either side. Low snap. Queller picks it up and throws it. And he finds a man. It was Malcolm Lassett-Hankins, but he was wrestled down after a very short gain.
Yeah, Kyle Nichols was right there. That's just the kind of defense you want with under 2 minutes to play. Just keep everybody in front of you toward the sideline. Not a big gain.
3rd and 10 for the Pelicans on their own 43. 1:25 to go in the half. Clock running. 2 receivers on either side. Queller back to throw. Queller rolling right. Throws. Almost intercepted. He almost threw that one right to Jason Kern, but it kind of sailed over his hands or may have been tipped a little bit.
Yeah, he was in a good spot. He's kind of banging his helmet right now. He thinks he should have had that one, but good defense from Jason.
Jason Kern has become a real playmaker for this Henley defense. He led the team with 4 tackles, including 1 for a loss against Hidden Valley last week. He had a fumble recovery against Cascade 2 weeks ago,
Right.
and an interception against Ashland 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, we like his energy. He really gets that defense working.
Almost had another pick there. 4th and 10, Pelicans going for it. Queller back to throw. Queller gets it off and almost intercepted again.
That looked like the same play.
Jason Kern.
Yeah, that was almost the same play.
And he just kind of threw his hands up on that one. Like, what can you do, you know?
So that was 4th down. So KU will turn the ball over on downs. And Henley will have a minute to see if they can push the ball in the end zone one more time. Hornets have 2 timeouts remaining.
.108 on the clock. Trips left. 1 receiver to the right. Whitlock on the right hip of Janney. Janney will throw. Goes left side. Chris making moves, but that was Bryson Montag, excuse me, on that left side that was previously occupied by Chris Janney.
That was a good throw. He threw him open that time, threw the ball inside. Bryson came back in to make the catch.
Henley down to the Klamath Union 30 with a fresh set of downs. Joe Janney rolling right, throws, caught but dropped at the 10. And that was
Luke
Bennett.
Yeah. That was a pretty good throw, a little bit low, but Joe was on a full sprint to his right. Made a pretty good throw, but not the worst thing in the world. The clock does stop on the incompletion, so Henley will get a 2nd down here with 42 seconds left to play in the 2nd quarter.
Trips right, 1 to the left. Whitlock on the right hip of Joe Janney. Janney back to throw. Over the middle. Caught! Down at the 10. And brought down at the 9. It looks like that was Chris Janney.
Yeah, that was Chris Janney. And we're seeing more and more confidence from this young quarterback as the season progresses, because that was a tough throw. But he made it. He decided to pull the trigger, and it was right on the money.
Henley's going to take a timeout here with 34.9 to go in the half. They've got 1st and goal on the 9. We'll go ahead and keep it here because I want to talk about something that Alex Stork said in pregame. They wanted to kind of expand the passing game more because they didn't get to throw a lot with the weather last week. Well, they've certainly done that so far.
Yeah, and they've done it successfully. Yes, they've really thrown the ball in this first half with long touchdowns. They really aired it out. I'm sure they're happy to see those results.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Janney, 40-yard touchdown reception, although 40 and 50-yard touchdown receptions, although a lot of those yards came after the catch. He did catch that bomb, though, to set up the 6-yard touchdown run from Logan Whitlock that made this a 35-0 game. And to your point, I mean, Joe Janney has really been on the money with his throws tonight. He managed just 3 of 8 for 28 yards in that rainstorm last week, so good to see that tonight. Trips right, 1 to the left. Janney to throw. Janney lofts one left side, caught for the touchdown. I believe that's Logan Whitlock. It is Logan Whitlock. He came out on the wheel route, and that makes it 41-0. As the clock continues to run, I don't know if they know that the running clock is not supposed to have kicked in yet. 15 seconds. The referees aren't stopping it. I guess they got to hurry and get the PAT off. Okay, now they're motioning to stop the clock. And What are they doing? PAT is up and good. So it's 42-0 Henley with 4.5 seconds to go in the half. At least that's what the scoreboard says. I don't know if they'll put more time back on. Although, at this point, I'm not sure it really matters.
Yeah, I think sometimes that's at the official's discretion. So sometimes you'll see that in a game of this nature. Yeah, there you go. They are adjusting.
Now they say 35 seconds.
Yep. Well done by that crew.
42-0 Henley. And this, I mean, honestly, you can't say this isn't something that you would have expected. You would not have expected to see from a game between the number 1 ranked team in the OSAA computer rankings and the number 32 ranked team in the computer rankings.
Right. You never know what you're going to get when you're playing a crosstown rival, but Henley came in prepared. And they're executing just the way that they want to.
Yeah, you know, with some teams, you kind of have to worry about them playing down to their opponent, and that really hasn't been the case with Henley at all this season.
No.
Kickoff returner gets popped at the 25 and driven back to the 20. That was... I don't even have a name for that guy on this roster.
I believe that was Swanson Utley with that hit, though, and it was a big collision. Good tackle.
25.3 on the clock. Klamath Union comes out on their own 22, trailing 42-0. Klamath Union comes out, trips, or 2 receivers on either side, excuse me, as Queller drops back to throw. Launches one downfield into heavy traffic, and it draws a flag. They were right up in the grill of Jeff Spooner, a couple of defenders for Henley.
Yeah, Henley was ready for that, but they made a little contact, a little too soon. And KU will get a penalty out of this.
So it's a 15-yard penalty. It'll move the ball up to the 38-yard line for Klamath Union.
And we might just see that again with just 17 seconds left in the half.
Two receivers on either side. Queller, quick throw off target for Calvin Hayes.
That was just a little 10-yard out, trying to get the ball closer to midfield, and the ball just a little bit underthrown. Second down.
2nd and 10 for the Pelicans from their own 38. Trips right, one to the left. Queller throws right side. Nice catch by Tilden Kaufman. And he gets down to the Henley 38. Pelicans have to hurry. They do have a couple timeouts, I believe.
Yeah, they used one right there. Queller put nice touch on that ball. He had to throw it over some linebackers and in front of some defensive backs, and he put the ball in a perfect spot. Nice throw.
We'll go ahead and keep it here. 9.8 to go in the first half. Klamath Union, well, have a shot at the end zone from this distance.
Yeah, they're close enough to throw the ball that far. So we'll see if they take it in 2 chunks or if they decide to go for the whole thing on this play. They could probably get 2 plays. They do have a timeout. They have 2.
Looks like they're going to come out trips left. one to the right. Jet Johnson on the left hip of Lamar Queller. Queller back to throw. Over the middle. Off target for Tilden Kaufman. 6.5 seconds left.
That was a good job by Kyle Nichols, just reading the quarterback, just kind of playing center field out there, and he got a hand on that pass.
Second and 10. Trips left, one to the right. Johnson once again on the left hip of Queller. Back to throw. Queller looking, throws, intercepted, and that's going to be a pick six. Nobody near Mark Carpenter, and a fitting end to what has been an absolutely dominant half of football for Henley. Mark Carpenter's 6th interception of the season goes for 6 as Henley takes a 48-0 lead pending the PAT.
He has really shown a knack this season of being in the right place, making the catch. You still have to make the catch, even though if you're in the right spot. A lot of times we see defensive backs drop the pass or knock it down. He's able to make the catch, and that time he had a lot of green in front of him. He took the ball all the way back. 66 yards on the interception return.
.66 yards. A 66-yard pick six. That's Mark Carpenter's 6th interception of the season. All the sixes are lining up for Mark Carpenter.
That was a funky kick on the extra point. It cleared the crossbar by about a foot, but it still counts.
So with no time left, that will send us to the half. Henley 49, Klamath Union nothing. We'll take a break. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me. Sports was kind of what defined.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires. I'm a confident.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and little league teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Not corporate. Klamath Subaru, we built our business on that simple promise. Well, that and some of the best people you're ever going to meet. Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General Manager at Klamath Subaru. Our 62 employees make it easy for us to live up to our comfortable, not corporate philosophy. Friendly faces, easy answers, straight talk, fairness, and exceptional service. These are the things you expect. These are the things that all of our people deliver. Our management team, sales pros, certified service and body shop techs, lot attendants, and detail experts are all 100% focused on you. Local people putting their friends and neighbors first. At Klamath Subaru, that's the only way we do business. It's comfortable, not corporate. Our team members also spend hundreds of hours each year supporting local charities and events through the Subaru Love Promise. That's the kind of people they are. We're very proud of them. They're your friends, they're your neighbors, they're glad to know you, and they want you to be glad to know them too. I'm Rob, and this is what makes us comfortable, not corporate.
Time at Klamath Union. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. Well, at the very least, Klamath Union's got some great halftime entertainment. I don't know if you can hear the band through our headsets at all. They're right below us. They sound pretty good. They led off their set with I'm Just Ken from Barbie, so it's pretty good. I always like it when the bands play, you know, something current.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, look, the scoreboard doesn't always tell the story, but sometimes it does, and this is one of those times. Henley has just dominated this half. I mean, we were talking about Klamath Union having had 2 weeks off because they had to forfeit their game last week. If you watch this game, you would think that Henley was the one that was the fresher team, because they have just been incredibly crisp. Really hard to find any fault in their game tonight.
Yeah, I would agree. This is probably the best we've seen Henley come out of the locker room to start a game this season. And they've had some impressive games, but they look sharp. Offensively, they're doing what they need to do. I'm really impressed with the passing game. They decided to try to be a little more creative, a little more aggressive passing the ball, and it's worked great. Whitlock has been able to run the football almost untouched for most of his carries. So the offense is looking terrific, and as good as they are, the defense, you know, Coach Shively, Coach Stork, really done a good job on the defense. And I was talking to them a little before the game, and they're telling me about, you know, they have good personnel, they have experienced players, and those kids know football. And that kind of sounds simple, but there's a lot to it. They know situations, they know down and distance, they know how to read a quarterback, and they do a lot of things, and they make few mistakes. And so you put all that together, you throw in 3 or 4 takeaways and a half, and you've got a runaway game. So really good performance from Henley on both sides of the football.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much to say, quite honestly, except this is what you love to see. This is what you love to see if you're Henley. You know, it's week 6, right? They could have easily just mailed this one in. I mean, you've got a game against Marshfield next week. That'll be your last home game of the regular season, and then the big one, Mazama, in 2 weeks, that will very likely decide the league championship and number 1 seed in the state playoffs. So, it would be easy if you're Henley to kind of look ahead a little bit, maybe mail it in.
Sure.
Absolutely not. That is not what they have done tonight. They have kept their foot on the gas from start to finish.
Yeah, they're a disciplined group, both the players and the coaches, and you won't catch them looking past a game. I can guarantee it. Speaking of Marshfield, there's an interesting game tonight, conference game. Marshfield plays Ashland. That'll kind of be maybe that 3rd slot in the playoffs, and of course Henley will play Marshfield coming up. So we'll try to find out how that game goes tonight over the hill.
I do want to talk since we've got some time. Actually, you've been keeping track of all the big plays here, Kevin. Why don't you run down the list for anyone who may have joined us late?
Sure. The scoring started with Logan Whitlock with a 35-yard touchdown run with 8 minutes to play in the first quarter. And then Henley really did a nice job of taking the ball away. A lot of their touchdowns result of turnovers. Luke Bennett with an interception in the first quarter. That was followed up by a Logan Whitlock 1-yard touchdown run. Bennett with another interception, and that set up a Chris Janney 40-yard touchdown catch from his brother Joe. Thomas Bakke picked up a fumble. Henley got the football back, and shortly after, Chris Janney with another long touchdown, a 50-yard pass from Joe Janney. Logan Whitlock added to the scoring with a 6-yard touchdown run with 4:58 to go in the second quarter. That made the score 35-0. Logan scores again. This time, catches a pass, a 9-yard touchdown with 35 seconds left to play in the half, and that made the score 42-0. Then, with no time to go, Mark Carpenter picked off the football at the 34-yard line, ran it all the way back for a 66-yard interception return. That's where we stand now. Henley 49, KU 0.
Yeah, so there you have it. I mean, defense forced 4 turnovers. Offense scored 5 touchdowns. I don't think Klamath Union has gotten inside the Henley 30.
Yeah.
Every time those turnovers have really come like pretty much every time that Henley has started to string a drive together, or Klamath Union, excuse me, has started to string a drive together.
Right.
So I mean, they're just. They're just on it in so many ways tonight.
That's what's made that defense so good all year. They may give up some drives, they may give up some yards, but come to that red zone or that, protecting their half of the field, they've done a really nice job of either taking the ball away or stopping the drive, and they've given up just very, very few points this season.
We're going to take a break. Halftime, about 7 or 8 minutes left in halftime, I should say. Probably. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
The innocence of youth. The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon, soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
Welcome back. It is 49-0 Henley at the half over Klamath Union. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. Since we do have some time to fill, I do want to talk about this Klamath Union program a little bit, especially their new head coach, Rob Clifford, who, as I mentioned in the first half, I was able to interview for our season previews on mybasin.com back in August. And, he's come in a tough spot for any coach. I mean, Klamath Union, they're in the midst of one of their worst stretches in school history. They're 6-29 since their last playoff appearance in 2018. Tom Smith departed this offseason. Rob Clifford was promoted to head coach. He's originally from Hawaii. He played at Mater Dei High School in California. He graduated as the school's all-time leading rusher. 2,432 yards. He still ranks 4th in Mater Dei history. His senior season was the first for Bruce Rollinson at Mater Dei, the legendary head coach who turned them into a national power. Coached, I should have written this down. I think 3 or 4 future Heisman winners before retiring within the past couple years. He went on to play at Oregon under Rich Brooks, so he's been able to learn under 2 really legendary coaches who've taken programs from obscurity to national relevance. So, he's a guy who knows what it takes to pull a program up from the bottom. And, I'm sure he also knows it takes time. And that's why he was saying in those preseason interviews, he said, I just want to win one more game than last season. Even if we go 0-10 and all of our games are competitive, that's an improvement. It's baby steps. And that's the term he used, baby steps. But I will tell you, in my sit-downs with him and talking to a few of his players too, I can see why the guys are excited about him. And they really are excited about him. I mean, there's, it can be hard trying to change the culture of a losing team. You can find yourself kind of in conflict with the players who are returning. I know Deion Sanders at Colorado is a great example of that. But really, he's kind of had the opposite effect, at least if you look at the roster, where Deion Sanders came in and kind of ran everybody off. Klamath Union's numbers saw a boost in the first season under Rob Clifford. I mean, I think he said they had about 20 players last season. This season they've got about 30. So, not exponential growth, but like he said, baby steps.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. KU will be back. I totally agree with that, and it does take time, and he's only in his first year, but you're right, he has good athletes, and I think he's trying to create a good culture. I think what's going to be really important for them is the off season. That's kind of where a coach can really develop players, and you get those kids working year-round, you'll see a lot of improvement. You give them 2-3 years, and I think some results here at Klamath Union, yeah.
And I'll tell you, I mean, just talking to him, I can see why guys are excited about him. I mean, just sitting and kind of hearing his perspective and what he views is important in building the culture here at Klamath Union. I couldn't help but think I would want to play for this guy. I really would. So it may be hard to believe now, but I think the future is bright for Klamath Union. Really.
Mm-hmm.
All right, second half. We do have one more break. Second half on the other side. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires. I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
During the Les Schwab Founders Celebration Sale, save up to $150 instantly on select sets of 4 tires. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends. Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home.
I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Welcome back to Modoc Field as we get ready to start a second half that should be much quicker than the first. Henley up 49-0, so we will have the running clock. And the Hornets will get the ball to start the second half. We had the same situation last week against Hidden Valley where Henley had put the running clock on by halftime. They were able to take up the entire third quarter with their drive.
Yeah, we've seen this before. We'll see a lot of new players. We'll see some new personnel. We'll see some of the younger kids get some reps here, and hopefully get that second and third string some improvement.
So P.J. Safford is going to kick off for the Pelicans. He's the son of our good friend Mike Safford, the sports information director over at Oregon Tech. Also does an excellent job maintaining stats for this Klamath Union team. So
looks like Cole Davis is back deep for the Hornets. We see some new players out there.
So Safford gets set to kick it deep. And he sends one down to the 20. Takes a deflection off the hands. Returned up to the 30. To the 40. Past midfield goes Cole Davis.
That was a great run by Cole.
Forced out. Looks like they'll mark him back at the 49 of Klamath Union.
Did a nice job staying in bounds, kind of tiptoed the sideline. Got the ball in the Pelican territory.
So let's see who comes out at quarterback and running back.
Last week, Henley would run a running back in and out every play. We'd see different folks in there.
So it's Trapper Kundal and Jason Kern, the quarterback running back duo, with two receivers on either side. So we can presume that we've seen the last of Logan Whitlock and Joe Janney tonight, as Kern's carry goes for a loss of 2. I do want to mention briefly, Logan Whitlock has now missed or sat 6 quarters over Henley's 6 games. That amounts to a full game and a half he's missed, which, normally you'd say fine, but, that's why his stats may not be as eye-popping as they were last year. And he's got 900. Well, coming into this game, he had 951 rushing yards. That's 2nd in 4A and 9th in Oregon. And he won the 4A rushing title last year. So in a way, his team is almost good to the point where it hurts him as he tries to repeat as the 4A rushing champion.
Right.
2 receivers on either side for Trapper Kundal as the flag moved Henley back to their own 40. Kundal going over the middle and way off target.
Pass a little too deep. He was looking at Mark Carpenter. Down the field on the far sideline. And that brings up 3rd and long for the Hornets.
Two receivers on either side. Kundal hands it off, and that goes nowhere. That was Jeremiah Brunick on the carry, and the Henley punt team will come out for the first time tonight.
Just under 9 minutes, clock running. Left to play here in the third quarter. Henley's games have they've been decided at halftime a number of times this year.
It's a pretty good punt. Comes down at the 20, takes a nice bounce and roll down to the 5, where Calvin Hayes, is leveled. Or no, that was 27, but there's no 27 on this roster.
That was a great kick. It angled toward the sidelines, appeared to be going out of bounds, and took a weird hop and bounced right toward the goal line. And then Kyle Nichols made a super tackle, and just like that, KU stuck inside their 10.
Yeah, Kevin, you mentioned that, most of Henley's games have been decided by halftime. So, only one game this season have the starters played the full 4 quarters, and that was against Cascade 2 weeks ago. That can be kind of a double-edged sword because on the one hand, you save guys like Logan Whitlock a lot of wear and tear.
Right.
But on the other hand, you do have to make sure that they're still conditioned enough to play a full game, because that's what they're going to have to do as they get deep into the playoffs. And even 2 weeks from now against Mazama, there's no doubt that is going to be a 4-quarter game, if not more.
Right. I think the coach is doing a real nice job of balancing all of that to this point.
2nd and 10 following the incompletion. Klamath Union from their own 5. Queller throwing over the middle and too long for Tilden Kaufman.
A little overthrown. Cole Davis in the game on defense with the coverage right there.
One thing is certain, though. These second and third string guys, younger guys, are benefiting hugely from all the reps that they're getting this season.
No doubt. This will pay dividends for sure for that young talent.
Queller to throw. Looking right side, and the receiver fell down. That was Octavio Ortega. Brings up 4th down for the Pelicans. We'll see what they do here. Henley is sending a returner back for the punt, and it looks like P.J. Safford will come back on to punt.
Connor Shively back to field this kick.
From he's posted up at the Klamath Union 45. Klamath Union had a man missing. They've got him on now. Safford with a nice punt. Comes down at the 30 and down at the Klamath Union 35.
Henley made a good decision there to get away from the football. That's what you want to do. And they have excellent field position, as this unit will try to get some points of their own on the scoreboard. Henley leads 49-0. Just under 5 minutes now left to play in the third quarter.
Clock still running. It now says 4:44 to go in the third quarter. And do we have a timeout? Tell me we don't have a time. Come on. We have a timeout. Is it an official timeout?
Yeah, I didn't see either coach call one here. Let's see what they come up with. Oh, this is interesting. They're calling the coaches to midfield. They're going to talk about something. Yeah, the referees are concerned about something. And for the record, the coaches gave each other a hug as they came out there. So the coaches definitely get along. here in Klamath.
Oh yeah, that was even one of the things too that Rob Clifford mentioned.
Yep. They shook hands out there. You bet.
Shook hands.
Yep. And
I think they just called the game.
I think you're right. They called the game.
Yeah.
Coaches shook hands. They had discussion.
No need to continue with this one. I think all points have been made. So it seems like that will do it. Henley 49, Klamath Union nothing. Game appears to have been called here with 4:39 to go in the third quarter. But what I was about to say, that was one of the things, too, that Rob Clifford mentioned when I was interviewing him in the preseason. He mentioned how helpful that Vic Lease over at Mazama and Alex Stork at Henley had been to him as he was getting settled into his new role. Well, hang on a minute. They're coming back out there.
They have confused me now.
I have no idea what that was about then.
You know what?
They shook hands. They went back to their sidelines. They huddled up their respective teams. I have no idea. Trapper Kundal is sacked back at the 48-yard line. Flag comes in. That was Jamar Queller on the sack. And I'll tell you what, we haven't seen much of him tonight, but he has been putting up video game numbers on defense for Klamath Union the past two seasons.
He is a good tackler, no doubt.
Division III offer from Linfield. So really, potentially, here he is tonight facing off with a couple of his potential teammates in Chris Janney and Luke Bennett, who, of course, also hold offers from Linfield. But his numbers, wow. Last year he had 83 tackles, including 40 for a loss with 18 sacks. This year he has 40 tackles, including 9 for a loss with 4 sacks coming into this game. Maybe not as mind-blowing this season as last season, but that just tells you how much teams have likely planned for him. Face mask penalty moves Henley up to the 36, and Jeremiah Brunick gets a carry off the right side down to the 20.
I'm going to look into the crystal ball here, Matt. I think I figured out what happened possibly with the refs and the coaches there. My guess is that there might have been some dangerous play going on out there. And so my guess is that they asked both coaches to talk to their teams. That's why they rounded their teams up. The game wasn't over. I think they were discussing the parameters of the game from here on out, and then they continued. That's my guess.
I mean, I don't know if I saw anything necessarily that would warrant that, but obviously the referees are much closer to the action than we are.
Yeah, it looked like they called the game, but that was not the case. So
I still can't get over 40 tackles for a loss, 18 sacks in 9 games.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I'm not sure I could even do that on Madden. So Henley with 2nd and 11 on the Klamath Union 21. Kundal throwing over the middle. It's caught and touchdown Henley as running it from the middle out to the left side with nobody near him.
I think that was Connor Shively.
Yep. Looks like number 3, Connor Shively. First touchdown of the season for Shively. And it'll put Henley up 55-0. PAT pending. 1:50 to go in the third with the running clock continuing.
That was a nice play by quarterback Trapper Kundal. He looked off 2 other receivers. Shively was his 3rd read. He had a good throw.
PAT is blocked. So it will remain 55-0. We'll take a break. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
During COVID, I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost
Welcome back. Henley scores their first points of the second half on a 21-yard touchdown reception by Connor Shively. That's his first touchdown of the season. Off the pass from Trapper Kundal. Two sophomores connecting there. And that's one of the things I was talking about earlier, Kevin. These young guys are getting some great game reps as they prepare to fill the gaps next year that are going to be left by guys like Chris Janney, Logan Whitlock, and Luke Bennett.
Absolutely.
Kickoff returned from the 10 and getting up to the 35 before being spun down is number 27, who's not on the roster, but I believe the PA said Anthony Weiser.
Cole Davis was the first Hornet to the ball carrier. Then Cole Shively made the tackle. We've called Cole and Connor's names a few times here with the second unit. They're having breakout games.
So clock inside 50 seconds to go in the third quarter. Klamath Union comes out first and 10 on their own 35. Lamar Queller still in at quarterback. He throws over the middle, incomplete.
There were a lot of Hornets in there, including Trapper Kundal playing a little defensive back.
Pass was intended for Chico Saluskin. And with the running clock still going, that might take us to the quarter break. Or will Klamath Union run one more play?
They don't look too interested in running a play. I think we'll end the third quarter right here.
They will not. 55-0 Henley after 3 quarters. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
During COVID, I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost motivation in eating healthy. And for me, if I'm not active, I just don't eat well. But then I started taking a class at Harbor's gym called High Low. The first week I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't do it. But the instructor was so kind and thanked me for coming and told me how well I did. I was like, no, I wasn't, but it made me come back the next week and the next week. And soon enough, I was keeping up with the class. I started introducing more classes and then going Saturdays. I learned how to lift weights accurately with repetition. I started lifting on my own. I started golfing too with my husband. And all of a sudden, I was buying salads instead of sandwiches. Small victories happened week by week, and it's 100% because of Harbor, their staff, their gym, the golf. My husband is getting out of the house and working out with me. His golf game is increasing, we're lifting together, and we feel good. Harbor, where I lost my reins and got my gains.
Queller back to throw, catches Spooner over the middle. Spooner making room, stiff arms a defender. Oh man, Jeff Spooner down to the Henley 45. That was a nasty stiff arm by Jeff Spooner.
He's a very good receiver. He's a junior. He still has another year ahead of him. Really makes himself big. He's a good target, good hands, good running after the catch. Good talent for KU.
Queller back to throw from the Henley 48. It's a deep ball, and it's off target for Mason Branham.
That was good coverage out there. I think that was Julian Rias out there.
Second and 10 from the Henley 48. Klamath Union trying to at least get on the scoreboard as they trail 55-0 with 10.5 to go. Queller hits Ortega, who shakes a tackle, but not another.
Wyatt Fussell right there to make the tackle. A little help from Jeremiah Brunick as well. Third down.
Third and 5 for Klamath Union on the Henley 43. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Jet Johnson from the left hip of Queller, who throws over the middle to Tuko Saluskin. And that's a first down for Klamath Union.
Just enough for a first down. Ronan Wright with the coverage and the tackle for Henley.
Pelicans now on the Henley 37 with a fresh set of downs. Two receivers on either side. Queller back to throw. Launching deep down the left sideline and well off target for Calvin Hayes, who was tangled up.
Yeah.
And that will draw a flag.
Yeah, there are a number of flags over there. There was a lot of contact. I think we're going to see a pass interference.
Yep, it is a pass interference, so that'll move it up 15 yards. And I believe this will be the deepest into Henley territory Klamath Union has been tonight.
KU offense showing a little rhythm for the first time tonight.
Fresh set of downs at the Henley 22. Two receivers on either side. Queller back to throw. Looking right side. Too far ahead of the receiver.
Probably a good decision there just to throw that ball away, as he was double covered on the outside. Be second down for the Pelicans.
Trips left, one to the right. Jet Johnson on the left hip of Lamar Queller. From the Henley 22, Queller back to throw. Quick throw out to Spooner. Spooner shakes a tackle and gets popped. Nice hit there to limit the gain to a couple yards.
I think that was Ronan again. Ronan Wright with the hit. Well covered, and that'll bring up third down and long now.
Third and 9. Trips right. Queller back to throw. Looking for the end zone. Nobody seemed to be on the same page as him, as he threw that one into a big gap between two receivers.
Yeah,
so that'll make it fourth down.
Henley defensive backs as a whole, as a group, really a talented bunch. Really nowhere to throw the football right there. And they'll try again here on fourth down.
Fourth and 9. Trips right. Queller looking for the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Jeff Spooner. And that ends what was 7 straight quarters of scoreless football for the Henley defense as the Pelicans get on the board.
Well, you kind of knew it was just a matter of time for Spooner. He's a very good receiver. And late in the game here, he did find himself open in the end zone for a touchdown.
So Klamath Union fans get to hear their touchdown bell for the first time tonight, and they love it regardless of how many points Henley's got. And Lamar Queller keeps it on the 2-point conversion.
The ball ended up being fumbled. I'm not sure if he crossed the goal line first. They're trying to figure it out. Okay.
They'll call it good.
Yep, he made it.
Yeah, the Klamath Union fans still pretty excited. So, with 5:39 to go in the game, it's now 55-8 in favor of Henley. And they are still going nuts down there with that bell. They're beeping they're pulling it on a cart, and the cart is just laying on the horn. The crowd, to their credit, is still very into it.
Yeah, it's good to see excitement. I like that cart.
It's a nice cart.
It is.
It is a nice cart.
I like that cart.
Got the KU logos on it.
Some cool paint.
Yeah. That's a nice big bell too. I like it.
The bell's been around for a while, for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, this field has been around for a while. It was constructed in 1931, according to the sign at the entrance.
Yeah.
Some parts of it, I will say, look like they haven't been updated since then. But it's still cool to get to see a really historic stadium like this one, as the attempted onside is easily recovered by Henley, so they'll take over on their own 46.
Yeah, Wyatt Fussell, good hands up front. Grab the onside kick and maintain possession for the Hornets. Just over 5 minutes now left to play, clock running.
Tell you, since we're talking about cool old stadiums, I tell you, one of the coolest that I went to was in the little town of Altus, Oklahoma. Was built with Works Progress Administration funds and was used with limestone from a local quarry.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, if you Google Altus High School Football Stadium, that's ALTUS. You can probably find pictures of it. It was just a really cool aesthetic, really neat vibe all around, almost like kind of stepping into a time capsule in a way. It's pretty tough getting up those stairs, though, I have to say. Really narrow, limestone. The run goes from a big loss to a big gain. What a carry by Brunick.
Yeah, that's that might be the first time we got to see him kind of turn the Jets on there. He was under duress in the backfield, and then he got around the edge and he turned that corner, picked up a lot of yards. Nice run. This team speed for Henley is they're just something else. One of the quicker teams we've seen.
Well, in keeping with the theme of hearkening back to my preseason interviews, when I was talking to Alex Stork, he said speed was one of his team's biggest strengths, and he was not exaggerating.
Yeah, they are fast.
Trapper Kundal tried to run it. That went for no gain, so it'll bring up 2nd and 10 for Henley on the Klamath Union 42. I know I've said this before too, but Trapper Kundal, that is first team all name right there. Now he lofts one over the middle and a nice catch down just past the 30. Looks like that was Nichols on the reception.
Another first down.
It's almost up there with guy from my alma mater, Oklahoma, General Booty. Handoff doesn't get very far. Down to about the Klamath Union 26.
Yeah, I expect we'll see Henley just kind of run the ball straight ahead here with just over 2 minutes to play and a huge lead.
Kundal to throw, looking for the end zone and overshooting Wyatt Fussell.
Wyatt had a step on him, ball just a little overthrown. I'm surprised. I thought they might just kind of run straight ahead. Bring up third down, about 9.
Trips left, one to the right. It's a designed run for Kundal. Flag comes in. Kundal's still up. Gang tackled at the 22. And with 1:15 left, the clock will stop as the officials discuss the penalty.
Holding offense, number 26, 10-yard penalty.
It's offensive holding.
So they will replay the third down. But it'll be a little bit longer here to get to the first. Third and about 18.
Trips left, one to the right. The run goes to the right side, and flipping the field, finally wrestled down, is Cole Davis.
KU had good pursuit on that one. Cole tried to reverse field, but didn't find luck that direction either. So that brings up a fourth down, and we're just inside 30 seconds here to play.
And Klamath Union takes a timeout. We'll go ahead and take it with them. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
So coming out of the timeout with 29.9 seconds on the clock. Snap is fumbled, and Kundal dives on it at the Klamath Union 48. That'll be a turnover on downs.
They're going to burn another timeout.
And another timeout.
There's 19 seconds left.
Well, you have to give Rob Clifford some credit. He's, he's certainly shown he's not going to stop coaching no matter what the scoreboard says.
Right. He's trying to give his team some situational work here to see what they can do with 19 seconds and one timeout.
Hey, I mean, every rep matters, right? Like he said, baby steps.
Yep.
I had the girls basketball coach at my high school was infamous for doing much the same thing, except his team would be up by 40 or 50 in the closing minutes of the fourth quarter. I was a manager for the boys team. It would always kind of irritate us a little because we would be sitting there waiting to come on for warm-ups.
Right.
as Queller unleashes it down the field and overthrown. And Rob Clifford uses his last time out.
They want one more shot. They'll have 9 seconds. And this will be the last play.
Continuing my story, he was, he would be up by 40, running clock. He would be in running clock with like 2 minutes, 1 minute left in the fourth quarter. The reserves would be in, and if he saw something he didn't like, or even if someone was on the floor diving for a loose ball trying to get it, he'd call a timeout. We would all just groan in the tunnel. But I mean, my senior year, they won their 8th straight state championship, so I don't think anyone was really going to question him about it.
Right.
Josh Springer, North Carolina legend. Last play, Queller. Rolling right. He'll keep it himself. Down to the 30, forced out of bounds, and that will do it. Henley 55, Klamath Union 8. Your final score. Just another comprehensive win for the Hornets as they improve to 6-0 and will no doubt hold on to their #1 ranking. We're going to take a break. Post-game breakdown on the other side. Matt Bowling alongside Kevin Petrik. You're watching Henley football on mybasin.com and listening on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon, soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
During the Les Schwab Founders Celebration Sale, save up to $150 instantly on select sets of 4 tires. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
What rhymes with
All I do is wait. So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever. Wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face. I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
How did you get into it?
Welcome back. It is, well, that's it for you right there. 55-8, the final score. Henley, not much left to say, really, Kevin.
Yeah, Henley did a great job. They came out strong, and pretty much the game wasn't past halftime. The game wasn't in question. Logan Whitlock with 4 total touchdowns. Joe Janney with 3 touchdown passes. Chris Janney with 2 touchdown receptions for touchdowns. And Mr. Bennett had 2 interceptions tonight. Some of the highlights for Henley.
Yeah, why don't you run down the full scoring since you've been keeping track of that?
Sure. Logan Whitlock started off. He had 2 touchdown runs, a 35-yard touchdown run, and then a 1-yard touchdown run, both in the first quarter. Henley led 15-0 after 1. Second quarter, it was a little bit of passing show. Chris Janney with a 40-yard pass reception for a touchdown, then a 50-yard pass for a touchdown, and that led the Hornets to a 28-0 score with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Logan Whitlock added another touchdown run. Then he added another touchdown through the air with a 9-yard touchdown reception. The score 42-0. Then on the last play of the half, Mark Carpenter with a 66-yard interception return for a touchdown, and the score was 49-0 at halftime. Connor Shively added a 20-yard touchdown pass reception in the second half to make the score 55-0, and then KU added a touchdown from Jeff Spooner late in the game. Final score 55-8. Hornets with the win.
Yeah, I mean, just almost a flawless game from Henley. Again, really hard to find any fault. I mean, they had one fumble that they recovered. I can't think of anything beyond that.
Yeah, they played mistake-free. They executed well. They did just what you want to do, and they'll look at the film, and I think they'll be happy with what they see, and then they'll move on to next week with Marshfield.
We're going to take one more break. We'll see if we can find some other scores for you while we're in it. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik. You're listening to Henley Football on 104.3 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.
During COVID, I gained over 24 pounds. I lost motivation in working out. I lost motivation in eating healthy. And for me, if I'm not active, I just don't eat well. But then I started taking a class at Harbor's gym called High Low. The first week I felt like I didn't fit in and I couldn't do it. But the instructor was so kind and thanked me for coming and told me how well I did. I was like, no, I wasn't, but it made me come back the next week and the next week. And soon enough, I was keeping up with the class. I started introducing more classes and then going Saturdays. I learned how to lift weights accurately with repetition. I started lifting on my own. I started golfing too with my husband. And all of a sudden, I was buying salads instead of sandwiches. Small victories happened week by week, and it's 100% because of Harbor, their staff, their gym, the golf. My husband is getting out of the house and working out with me. His golf game is increasing, we're lifting together, and we feel good. Harbor, where I lost my reins and got my gains.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and little league teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, the retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Small, not corporate. At Klamath Subaru, we built our business on that simple promise. Well, that and some of the best people you're ever going to meet. Hi, I'm Rob Cedar, General Manager at Klamath Subaru. Our 62 employees make it easy for us to live up to our comfortable, not corporate philosophy. Friendly faces, easy answers, straight talk, fairness, and exceptional service. These are the things you expect. These are the things that all of our people deliver. Our management team, sales pros, certified service and body shop techs, lot attendants, and detail experts are all 100% focused on you. Local people putting their friends and neighbors first. At Klamath Falls Subaru, that's the only way we do business. It's comfortable, not corporate. Our team members also spend hundreds of hours each year supporting local charities and events through the Subaru Love Promise. That's the kind of people they are. We're very proud of them. They're your friends, they're your neighbors, they're glad to know you, and they want you to be glad to know them too. I'm Rob, and this is what makes us comfortable, not corporate.
The essence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
Welcome back. Matt Bowling here alongside Kevin Petrik as Henley wraps up a 55-8 win here at Klamath Union. Heading into their game against Marshfield next week. That'll be their last home game of the season. I haven't gotten official word yet, but I presume it'll be senior night then, Kevin?
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
That's typically the way these things work, at least.
And the game will be I believe it's still being played Friday. They've moved a lot of the games in the Basin to Thursday. But as far as I know, Henley will be playing Friday night. Yeah.
All right. Well, we were unable to find unable to find any scores for you, unfortunately. We're not gonna be bringing anybody up for an interview because we're kind of at a location in the press box where you have to kind of go upstairs and like over a catwalk and stuff, and I'm not trying to have any of the Henley players walk over that thing in cleats.
Yeah,
I don't think
that wouldn't be good.
No, not with like it's made of like a metal grate and stuff. So that wouldn't be good. So what I am going to try to do for those of you still listening and watching is go down to the field, round up one or two guys for an interview, get a video, and post it on our 1043 and 960 Sports Facebook page. So be on the lookout for that. And I believe that's really all we have to say here, Kevin.
Yes, another good week for Henley. They'll take 6-0 going into next week, and I'm sure that they'll prepare for Marshfield. And Marshfield's got a good reputation. They got a good history, and so I'm looking forward to see how they come into town next week.
All right, that does it for us here at Modoc Field. Henley 55, Klamath Union 8, your final score. For my partner Kevin Petrik and our cameraman Christian Shira, I am Matt Bowling saying good night. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. You've been listening to Henley Football on 1043 and 960 Sports and watching on mybasin.com.